Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. In today's dars, we will cover Surah An-Nas. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. In the introduction of this surah, Hazrat Muslim Maud Razila Ta'ala Anhu says that this surah was the second of Muwadatin, constitutes an extension of its predecessor and is in a way complementary to it, in that in Surah Al-Falaq the believers were enjoined to seek protection from God against the hardships and privations of life. In the present surah, protection is sought from trials and tribulations that hamper man's spiritual development, and the protection is to be invoked not only by verbal solicitation but by deeds and actions that may attract God's grace. This is the true significance of the commandment conveyed by the word kul, or say. The surah is quite fittingly entitled An-Nas, or mankind, since protection has been solicited or asked from God, King, and from the Lord, King, and God of mankind, An-Nas, against the mischief of whisperers from among the jinn and men who whisper evil thoughts into the hearts of men. The surah was evidently revealed at the same time as Surah Al-Falaq, both the surahs constituting an appropriate ending of the Quran. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Gracious, the Merciful. Au nom d'Allah, le Gracieux, le Miséricordieux. Allah के नाम के साथ जो बे इंतहा रहम करने वाला बिन मांगे देने वाला और बार बार रहम करने वाला है. So those who have been taking this class, we repeat this all the time. They should be knowing, but just for blessings, we'll go through the words one by one. B is starts with the first Arabic word in this ayat, is translated to with in English and o en français, and Urdu mein saat. Ism is name in English, en français nom, Urdu mein naam, and Allah remains the same. And Ar-Rahman is gracious in English, le gracieux en français, Urdu mein rahm karne wala. And Rahim is merciful in English, en français le miséricordieux, Urdu mein bin mange dene wala, bar bar rahm karne wala. Commenting on the attribute Al-Rahman, the promised Messiah ﷺ said in Al-Badr, January 9th, 1908, Al-Rahman means one who grants of his own accord without reference to any deeds. That is, that he gives without any action of ours, no reward which is given out for any of our actions. And Hazur says that the Sanatanist Hindus are among those who believe that everything originated with God. At the same time, they add that everything is the consequence of preceding conduct. According to them, a person is born a male or a female because of his or her previous deeds. The same applies to every species, donkeys, monkeys, cats, etc. These people deny the grace of God. Can we hold that God, who made the sun before he made man and created air for breathing, as also for caring for the human voice, did all this because of some deeds performed by men? So the air and also the air which is for us to breathe, Huzur says, and also for carrying our voice so that our voice can be heard. Was this because of any deed that man had done that these things were there? Hazur then says, these people have lost track of reality and are engrossed in disbelief. The truth is that all this is a manifestation of Allah's grace. There are many bounties which are not due to any deeds on the part of the beneficiaries, and there are others that are connected with deeds like the duties of obedience which the worshippers and the pious carry out and for which they are rewarded. So Rahman is that attribute of Allah where Allah gives without any action, and does not come into play as an attribute because of any of the actions that man has done. And Huzur explains this, that it is a Rahman is an attribute of God, which is a blessing which is given to mankind and creatures and everything which he has created solely without any deed which has been done prior to it. But in this instance, Huzur gave a reference to the Hindu faith and showed how there is some wrong understanding that they hold with this attribute of God. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. Dis, je cherche refuge auprès du Seigneur de l'humanité. Tu कहते कि मैं इंसानों तो कहते कि मैं इंसानों के रब की पैदा मांगता हूँ. Sorry, I pronounced मैं, it's मैं, not me. Tu कहते कि मैं इंसानों के रब की पैदा मांगता हूँ. So here the first Arabic word is qul, and this is in English say, and en français dit, Urdu में कह दे. A'udhu is the next Arabic word. This is in English, I seek refuge. En français, je cherche refuge. Refuge. En français, मैं पैदा मांगता हूँ. Sorry, मैं पनाह मांगता हूँ. And then the next word is be, which is in English with, en français auprès, and Urdu में साथ. And then Rab is Lord in English, en français Seigneur, Urdu में Rab. And the last Arabic word is An-Nas, that is translated of mankind in English, and en français An-Nas et de l'humanité. Urdu में इंसानों के. Commenting on this verse, Hazrat Muslim Maud Razila Ta'ala Anhu says that in the present surah, 3 divine attributes vis-a-vis Rabban Nas, Lord of mankind, Malikin Nas, King of mankind, and Al-Ilahin Nas, that is God of mankind, have been invoked as against one attribute, that is Rabbil Falak, the Lord of the Dawn, in the preceding surah, because this one attribute comprises all the three above mentioned attributes. So the Rabb Nas holds or contains in it all these three attributes. Whereas one divine attribute, that is Rabbil Falak, Lord of the Dawn, has been invoked against four kinds of mischiefs in the previous surah. In the surah under comment, three divine attributes have been invoked against one mischief, that is the whispering of the evil one. This is because promptings or insinuations of Satan cover all conceivable evils. That is the suggestion, the evil suggestions which come from Satan. These cover every type of evil. So, therefore, fittingly, there is a need to invoke the blessings, the attributes of Allah. These three attributes: Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, and Ilahi Nas. Further on, he says that mention of the three divine attributes in the surah implies that all sin proceeds from three causes. That is, with a when a person looks upon other men as his Rabb or Lord, or Malik, his king, or Ilah, God. So in the attribute of, not in terms of the worldly meaning of this, but in the attribute, godly attributes that men look towards. They look towards men as though they are like have the quality of the Lord, the quality of the King, or Ilah, or God. That is to say, he regards them as the main prop or support of his life, or slavishly surrenders to their undue authority, or makes them the object of his love and adoration. A believer is enjoined here to look up to God alone as the real support of his life, and to render to him alone true and unconditional obedience, and to make him alone the real object of his love and adoration. Or the believer may have been enjoined in these verses constantly to seek protection against the ravages of exploiting capitalist, tyrannical rulers, and from the crafty priestly class who, taking undue advantage of the unwary and simple-minded folk, exploit them mercilessly. The reference seems particularly to be to the conditions obtaining during the latter days. So the tendency to look to men in high position, and to in a sense to worship them, are in the three systems that we find today, and Huzur has pointed that out. Hazrat Masih Maud alayhi salatu wasalam has, in talking on the worship or the shirk, that there are forms of shirk in the world, and we find in this day and age is that that we, aside from worshiping objects and worshiping idols, there is also the worshiping of men, like we have nowadays. And Hazrat Muslim Maud anhu has indicated to this, that nowadays this type of worship is in three systems: the capitalist system, and the tyrannical rulers, and from the priestly craftly priestly class, that is those who are priests or Molvis or any type of pandit or religious ruler, who take advantage of a simple-minded people. And we do find this that in the society today, that the taking of the famous people in high positions, whether they're politicians or they're in the entertainment industry or some other part of the capitalist system, who may be a billionaire, and people worship them as they would the Rab, or the Lord, as here is mentioned, or as Malik, king, or even as a god. Sometimes you can find these three types of worship with people even outside the religious domain, or the religious system. You find it even in the capitalist system, and nowadays we find this type of worship is rampant everywhere. Malikin Nas, the king of mankind, le roi de l'humanité, इंसानों के बादशाह की. So here, there's just two words, Arabic words, in the in this ayat, Maliki, Malik, and An-Nas. So Malik is, as we went through already, is translated as king. En français, le roi. Urdu mein Badshah. And then the last word here is Nas, and we've covered this. It's of mankind. En français, de l'humanité. And Urdu mein insanon ke. Ilahin Nas, the God of mankind. Le Dieu de l'humanité. Insanon ke ma'bud ki. So Ilah is translated as God in English. En français, le Dieu. Urdu mein, actually here we have Allah, but probably most fittingly would be Khuda. And also in the translation they use the word ma'bud. And the last is Nas, again the same as before, of humanity, de l'humanité, insanon ke. Min sharril waswasil khannas, from the evil of the sneaking whisperer. Contre le mal de chuchoteur sournois. Wakasat वसवसे पैदा करने वाले के शर से जो वसवसा डाल कर पीछे हट जाता है. So the first is Arabic word is min. This is translated as from in English, en français contre, Urdu mein se. And the next word is shar. This is a word we already covered in the last surah. This is in English evil. En français mal, and Urdu mein it's the same shar. And then al waswasi. This is whisperer. And in English and en français chuchoteur. Urdu mein waswase dalne wala. And then the last word is al-khannas, that is sneaking in English. En français, en en français, sournois, and Urdu में पीछे हट जाने वाला, या वसवासा और शक डालकर. So inshallah we'll continue with this surah in my next class. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.